For more than 10 years now, northeast Nigeria has been rocked by the impact of Boko Haram. More than 2 million people have been displaced across Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. And despite massive international investments in food security, there is growing hunger among internally displaced Nigerians. In a survey conducted in 2021, the International Organization for Migration found that 76% of surveyed IDPs lacked sufficient food. Food that was once distributed to them from designated kitchens provided by relief agencies has now been replaced by a food rationing program contingent on physical ration cards. This new distribution scheme set the stage for fraud and negligence in food distribution, even though millions of dollars were provided to support the program. According to a 2017 report from Save the Children, a family of 7 to 9 members would require an average grant of 83,000 to 99,000 naira per month to meet their basic needs. There are over 2 million people in displacement, so there's a huge amount of funding for feeding in those camps. Yet, much of it doesn't actually go to the IDPs. When IDPs began to collect their rations, their communities housing about half of northeast Nigeria's displaced population began to disguise themselves as IDPs as well. They were enabled by actors in the system, including volunteers of aid organizations and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force. Although meal rations are free for IDPs, host community members paid 3,000 naira per person for rations. Aid insiders printed fake cards and sold them at a lower price. The 3,000 was a bribe to access the 17,000 monthly ration. Other non-IDPs acted as proxies in food distribution lines, collecting food to share with camp officials later on. The more people buy their way into the food ration system, the more actual IDPs are at risk of being turned away. Even for IDPs who are successful in accessing food ration cards, trouble continues. Earlier this year, the regional director of the World Food Programme WFP, Chris Nikoi, noted the caseloads of supported IDPs were going down due to funding issues. According to Nikoi, over 500,000 people who previously received support from WFP are now without critical food assistance. Although $399,000 was allocated for IDPs between January 2019 and December 2020, the COVID-19 emergency PPEs quickly drained the funds intended to meet their basic food and nutrition needs. Left without alternatives, some IDPs sell in-kind commodities offered by aid organizations. Items like sewing machines and lanterns, which are often gifted to IDPs with good intentions, are inappropriate for their immediate needs. As such, these, often labelled as not for sale, end up being sold for much needed cash to pay for food and other necessities. This poor management of IDPs in northeast Nigeria has dire consequences, including starvation, which can be fatal. This is part of our MacArthur video series explaining insecurity drivers in northern Nigeria. We're breaking down major indicators of violent conflict and covering the communities most impacted by it. With support from the MacArthur Foundation, Human Angle is working to strengthen investigative and data-driven journalism in order to reduce corruption.